I don't even know how to get into what happened, what's occurred, what's going on. I'm just beside myself and sad. Because, okay, it will require explanation. It will require me explaining, like, here's this, and this, and I'm just very sad. I feel like this week just doesn't want to see me do anything. I'm just very, very tired. Okay. If one of those goes off, then one of those goes off, and it's okay, and we'll figure it out later. So, to explain what has occurred, so that I can talk about this somewhere, and have everything in, like, a kind of put-together state. The plan was to initially not enter the PA Game Commission Bar Now competition. It was to practice and make something to enter it, to see how it went. And I was going to try to share the process, but the paper was 15 by 22.5 inches. It was huge. It was very hard to share it. As time went on, and I kept reviewing the stuff, even though I didn't like how they had the entry system set up, keep in mind, I don't like it, I didn't like it. That's important to the story. I was like, hey, I do feel like I have a chance to maybe get 5th. I have a chance to place, I think. I want to try. Maybe. We will see how things go. And I thought, hey, I'll try to enter. So today comes. Today is today, and I'm like, I'm going to try to get everything together and around. I have, like, my stuff here to enter. I got the forms printed. I got it matted. I paid for, like, really nice mat so that it would be official and good. I got backing. Everything's good. I get everything ready. I've reviewed the rules so many times. I've tried to understand as best I can. And then I go in to start, like, getting everything ready because they want the entry itself emailed. They want the check sent in. And I hit a roadblock because I don't know how much this is going to show up. Well, that'll work. That's fine. Here, I'm going to move it, actually, because the one thing's gone. We'll pull it back up if we need it. Which is better, 1 or 2. Oh, God. So, I made notes. I've made notes on here on what's wrong. Okay? Because once I noticed one thing, I just kept going. It's so bad. Okay? So, the things that are struck out are just because I couldn't get it to highlight them. So, here it says up higher, right? Where did it go? I'm just so sad that now, oh my god. I'm so overwhelmed by the fact that this just can't happen now. Okay. It says that you have to complete and sign the reproduction rights agreement attached to the lower part of the agreement to the back of the artwork, attachment number 1. Okay, so you're supposed to fill this whole thing out, okay? As seen here. You're supposed to fill this whole page out. Detach this lower part of the agreement attached to the back of your entry. If you're sending it through the email, via, however you'd like to say it, email, how do I attach this? Do I just send this whole paper with my check, or does it make my entry invalid? Do I take a picture of it, tape to the back of my entry, and try to send that through the email? But my entry is a 15 by 22.5 inch entry. How do you do that? What do you do? And then also, participating artists, I'm going to read these out of order from the way I wanted to read them, because at this point, who cares? I just have to say, the way that the Game Commission, or whoever was in charge of putting this together for the Game Commission, did not fix the way that it was last year, which is how, like, I think it was a bear last year, you had to submit your entry through the mail. This isn't corrected, this isn't fixed, the language used isn't correct, there's no way to know what you're supposed to do, and I'm very frustrated, and I don't know if anyone else feels the same way about how they have to enter. So that's why I'm doing this. Participating artists will have the opportunity to view entries after the final selection is made. Please inquire on our website when submitting your entries to the date and time when the artwork will be on display. Cool, awesome. All for showing everyone's artwork, getting to celebrate the winners. Are we celebrating just the one winner or the other winners? Because if everyone's entries are being submitted through email, how are the physical pieces getting to the Capitol? These are going on display in Harrisburg. Okay, cool, awesome. We've covered that. We talked about why that seems weird. All right, we'll just work backwards because that makes sense for some reason. The artist whose painting is selected for the Working Together for Wildlife Fine Art Print Series will receive payment in the amount of $5,000 plus 50 artist-proof prints. Cool, that's great. Payment will be made after the artist has signed all prints. The winning artist must pencil sign up to 750 limited edition fine art prints. I'm sure that there's some stipulation in many of these contests that you must do X in order to receive payment. I'm sure of it. But why? And this is like on a government site. This is all stuff that you can read. So I didn't go through and be like, hey, this is sensitive information. This is all the official rules that you can download if you're entering. But why are they like, hey, you only get the $5,000 now? They don't even split up the payment. For everyone else, here you go. Here's your money. First place, hey, you've got to pay your own travel expenses. Make sure you have lodging. Make sure you have that food. And then we'll give you your money once you've signed everything. That seems a little weird. And if we're not sending our art in, if it's through email, they still have the stipulation that you have to you're required to obtain adequate insurance. They didn't correct any of this. I can see this being in there for the winner's part. If okay, and now since you've won, you have to send in your art, make sure it's insured. Awesome, cool, that makes sense. Why is it up here? Unless they misworded this and we still have to send in a physical copy. But everything else that you read, whether it's on the Commonwealth site, the official Commonwealth of PA site, because Commonwealth state, however PA works, I don't know anymore. We have potholes. They specifically say it's only through email. Tourist sites that are hey, which are the only ones that actually say, the Commonwealth and the tourist sites are the only ones that clarify that this 4 is 4 p.m. Oh, now the highlighter works. Also, the Commonwealth site alternates between saying it needs to be a painting and any medium is fine. So imagine someone works their ass off, puts in so much time and work, and they're so proud of like a beautiful pastel piece, and they submit it, and it's disqualified. Someone somewhere did not proof. And I tried to call the game commission. I got directed to the person whose email is here for the actual entry, right? I got directed to this. I just got their voicemail. I don't understand unless there's like some stipulation in the Pennsylvania bylaws that sits right by the one that's like, hey, you can't read tarot cards. I don't know if they're like squished together by each other, but I don't know if there's something saying that the game commission can only accept checks. And that's why they're not accepting online payment. This would make so much more sense if they did it like a lot of art competitions do their shit, where it's like, hey, we've set up a thing where you make an account, submit your art in this kind of file, these kind of files are acceptable, submit your payment, these forms of payment are acceptable, and you are good to go. That makes more sense. Or if the size of the pieces is overwhelming and that's why they've changed it to this, make the size smaller. We're in 2025. Can we not understand that the size of things can be smaller? This piece is freaking massive. I've gotta show you how big this thing is. With its mat. It is upside down. This is a grand reveal of the owl, by the way. This thing is huge. It's not as big as the 18 by 24 panel that took out my ripped coffee. But look at this thing. So now I just have peaceful music. And I have a giant ass owl that I can't enter in the contest. And I'm out the chance to place. I'm still posting it on Threadless, and I'm going to post it on Redbubble. And the condition we talked about was that if these, like any of the contest arts went on Threadless, they would have my sales go to like a nature charity. And I'm very bummed that now I've lost the chance to like have the opportunity to compete in the contest and place. Because the way they've set it up and structured it is asinine. Who did this? I'm sure someone tried very hard, or they either tried very hard and they're sitting there anxious that things aren't working out because they're realizing they have to check all these emails with all these checks, or they're sitting there and going, it'll work, I guess, and they tried not at all. It's one of two very polar opposites. And I'm sorry that I don't have a better outcome, because I was so excited to enter this and tell you guys about it and stuff like that. So it sucks all around. There's no good way to be like, hey, I couldn't enter the contest. I don't know what they were thinking with this transition, and without having at least like someone else proof that they had done this correctly. Not to mention that's so shitty to be like, hey, everyone else, here's your cash award to the main winner, the first place winner. Sign 750 prints and then you get yours. I would not want to place first. There's no reward for placing first. Here, get your carpal tunnel, lose money on your lodging and shit, and then here, whatever's left. Plus, hey, they're gonna take out taxes. It's just insane. I had to go to 4 different sites, by the way, to figure out how to correctly address the envelope with the check. Because the way they have it here is wrong on the Game Commission site. Like, at no point did the PA Game Commission go, yes, we've got our shit together. I'm sure the Game Commission in other areas excels and is great at their job. They have to be. They have to do a lot of things. But this, like, and it's also why I put off calling them until today, because I was like, there's so many things here that don't make sense. There's just so many things that didn't make sense. And I'm like, I guarantee you if I call the number that's here, because the only other option to contact them was write a letter. And then, like, I could email the person I'm supposed to send this to, but then maybe they'll be like, I'm actually just going to disqualify your entry because you already talked to me. And I'm like, that would be really weird to do, but what if they do that? So I'm like, what if I call the Game Commission and I just keep getting transferred because no one knows and they've got other stuff they're working on because, like, that's their job and that's what they do. So yeah, I can't enter the owl. But I am going to be posting it. So if you'd like to help the environment, check it out on Threadless when it's up. It will be up very soon. Or check it out on Redbubble to support me in my misery and sadness. Either is an option. I'm beside myself. I'm over here. I'm running away from the situation over there. That means, though, that I'm gonna try to find some other way to... Because here's the thing. This isn't the silver lining to this. This is just something that's adjacent to it. The Oregon contests, Oregon does many contests. Oregon remains the GOAT. You don't have to be, as far as I remember, hang on before I start talking. Hang on. Oregon's usually, like, really, 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 really good. Oregon will save us. Artwork must be completely dry. Hi, I'm sending in a sopping wet paper mache. You do not have to be a resident of Oregon, you just have to be in the US. So, Oregon holds multiple contests. You can package them together. They recommend packaging them together if you're entering more than one. And you can submit all your stuff together, which is so cool of them. And they've opened up their one contest that I did last year for the Western Toads to plants. So, I'm not going to say more than that right now because we've also got some other stuff happening. The owl is done. The owl is finished. The owl's going to be posted and out of sight, out of mind. But we have Michigan and the federal duck stamp. And I can't tell you about the federal duck stamp yet. We're not entering because the entry fee is a lot. The entry fee is double what this one would have been, which is $50. It's at least double. But this one for PA would have been $50. And I genuinely, like, just sitting here being like, I don't understand why they didn't just make the whole thing streamlined to one way or another, or downsize the piece if they were going all, like, through the mail, like, keeping it that way. I don't get why they didn't change things to accommodate whatever, like, they were going, hey, this is bothering us, why not fix it, instead of going, oh, it has to stay this way. I think they made a more bogged down system, and I think they're going to realize that as they get closer to this deadline, which is already, like, only 11/9. I can't do math. Like, it's very fast approaching. I think they're going to realize that they've made a harder time, like, making sure all these entries are legitimate entries. And not to say that anyone would do something bad. I'm saying that they have to go, okay, here's this, it matches with this, here's this, it matches with this, here's this, it matches with this. Yeah, I'm not absolutely not implying that anyone has it in their mind to fraudulently go, here's an owl. That's so bizarre. Why would you do that? But yeah, it's been a rough couple of hours trying to get this done. And I will not get those hours back. And I don't know how to say it other than I'm sad and I feel very empty over the fact that this is a lost opportunity. But thank you for supporting on the journey of making the owl however you did. And sorry that we couldn't stream more of it because it was just freaking massive. Hopefully with the stuff for Oregon we can do more. And for the federal duck stamp stuff we can do more. Because that's going to be super cool in a way that I can't tell you. But yeah. It's going to be fun. And it's... yeah. Streaming on Twitch later, by the way, and we're going to have a good time. And try to just get everything out of our system. Trying a new game. We're building Legos. And Balatro. So yeah,